Well, if I've done anything correctly, I should be talking to you guys right now. Try to get a little light object. That's just too much. This is only the second time that I've ever done this before on my own. I see that Ray Bobel's out there in the crowd, and I did it once with him for a few hours during one of the worst storms that we had in the summer. One of them. It seems like every summer we get a bad storm. So, needless to say, I'm kind of new at doing this. I guess I'm kind of going from there. Excited to be here tonight. The reason I neglected to put out a video this morning was that pretty much all last week after that news interview, and when I went here in town, a lot of people started to search me out to buy. So that's a good thing. So I was busy buying train stuff, and I stacked this little area here just jam packed full of stuff, and I pushed the envelope too far. I thought I can get started on a Saturday working on my little item. It was going to be, well, it is like a 1931 Lionel Mickey and Minnie hand car, a little wind up clockwork. And I underestimated how hard it might be. And I ended up having a gear break on me that was already broken. I mean, it needed to be replaced anyway, but more. And it shut me down. And I'm like, there's no way I'm going to get a video out. So I sat around and pouted for 2 days, from Saturday afternoon to Monday morning. Like, what am I going to do for a video? How do I call it a good excuse to type on the messenger? I'm like, I should do a live show. I haven't done this very often. Question and answers. I sent out a request for some guys to send in on the emails some questions, and thankfully some guys did that. Some guys wrote some questions in the comment section of the video before it aired. It's a little glitchy. I don't do. I'm going through YouTube Studio. I wonder if I talk slower. Buffering here. Stream looks good here. Did I see myself on the news yet? Yeah, Shaw on the 12th man. Yeah, I did. Problems. I don't know what to do. Is there a way to change settings? Channel level settings. Oh, that ain't it. Uh-oh. That's what I thought. Scale train station. I just talk a little slower. Clean the wheels of the stream. Oh, I don't know what to do. Who knows how to speed up the YouTube Studio for buffering? Geez, I've gotta. I was going to lower the resolution. If I only knew where I can do that at. Pop out. Let me see if I can go in and change the camera settings. Dang it. I don't have any cords going to my computer, Astronite. Nothing else is him. This is just the only thing. Lower resolution. I don't demagnetize the hard drive. Yeah. Oh, man. I have just is it still glitching now? Can't change resolution in YouTube Studio, Robert Amos says. Is it the Porn Train app? Is that what's going on? Jeez. Yeah, I don't see anything where I can change this. This is real fortunate. I get a bunch of yeses, but I forgot what I asked. So it's still, man. It's like 80, 100. It's not very much. Gerald from the motherland of North Dakota is here. Still buff. I don't know what to do. Have access to this feature. You're just a rotten. Manual settings, stationary dingleberry. Change levels. That's not. That one keeps telling me send feedback. History, bookmarks, sidebar setup. Oh, God. Such resolution, create stream resolution. Yeah, on YouTube. Start a new stream. That's what I'm thinking there, Uncle Salty. I'm on a Mac, Glenn. Up a taller pine tree. Dang it. Dang it, dang it, dang it. Turn off streaming software and computer. Unplug mode and wait 20 seconds. And if I did that though, then I'd have to make a whole nother. Smoother. Okay. I've got a cable. I come to the back of my computer. Whether it works or not, I don't know. We'll see. Turns out that I can't because the back of these brand new Macs only have fire wires. I can't plug in a Cat 5 into it. Some guys are saying it's laggy. The struggle is real. Sean. Yes. Listen. Guys keep asking. I don't have a port to plug this in on. Messy Modeler says it's coming across good at his end. I do need a bigger hammer, William. Yeah, my old computer, my 2013 Mac, had all kinds of ports in it. This one has got just one FireWire port. My fridge is running. I've got cold beer over here. Yes. I minimized my screen window so it's not the full size of the computer. Maybe that's going to help. Condu. I feel like a ding dong. iMac camera. Going through Oprah. Sure. React. I got 2 ports. I don't have any other applications running, Troy. Do I see the streaming resolution settings tab? I do not. It would be, I don't know what it'd be on, so. Streaming resolutions tab. In YouTube, detach video. course, the advertisements are coming in good. Yeah. Lynn says, don't worry about it. Just go. Make sure you have enough up speed. No glitchy. No ads. I agree with you guys. I got lots of stuff going on. God. Google. I've got. Oh, my goodness. Tonight we're sitting down with a cup of the finest Folgers peasant mix with about 3 fingers of a single malt inside of it, just to the problems that occur while everything's happening. So I see that there are some questions asked. The very first question I seen was from a fella. I've done a Athearn ready to run SD45. The only SD45 ready to run that I've worked on was that blue and yellow one that just showed up, or that I just did a video on. That's a Genesis. All going to be very similar. They're all going to sort of come apart about the same way and go together about the same way. So it should be easy enough to get into. I find the hardest part's getting the chassis off, the body. As soon as you get in there, then it should be pretty straightforward and easy to go. Dave Skoog asks, what is your MIV? Oh. Steve says I'm frozen. Then Robert says it seems better now. I'm just confused all around. I guess the next time I try this, I'm going to have to do I get the Wi-Fi wired in hard then, I suppose. So it's like we got 175 people with us now. Jason Harnell's the one that got all them N-Gage Burlington Northern hoppers, huh? What brand is my DC handheld controller? It's a C Control Master 2.0 is what it's called. Look at it's going good in New York. Is Robert Amos says, is someone else using your wireless at home? Yeah. The TV inside the house? Does that count? Yeah. Uncle Salty says, yeah, it's time for 4 feet. I'm with you. Says it's streaming good in Chicago. All right. The watchmaker. Hey, yeah, nice rolling style. Yeah, okay. Everybody says it's kind of kicking out good now. I come up with a name for the studio. This beautiful area here. It's not just the train layout. Worked on it all day today. I come up with the studio is going to be called the Peasants of Perpetual Workload Studios. It's just downwind from the sewage treatment plant in beautiful Billings, Montana. That's what the studio is. Peasants of Perpetual Workload. That's how I feel. Disconnect the TV. For in Australia, it's coming through with Tim down there. I get a lot of guys from Australia, New Zealand, and Tasmania. And I didn't know that Tasmania was off the Australian coast until just a little bit ago. A feller bought a bunch of stuff and I mailed it down there. They said it's working in Colorado. So, all right. Is that red train? Yes, it is a Bradford. It's a Bachmann, whatever their odd stuff is. But that one belongs to local Dave because he collects themed trains. As soon as I got that, I called up Dave and said, hey, you want this? I'm going to save it for you. Good, yeah. MRC. Yes, Ken's Back Shop. I did say it's an MRC Control Master, my handheld walk around DC transformer thing. I've also got one for my AC stuff for Lionel 3 rail. Scale trains to, yeah, Our Lady of Perpetual Sorrow. It's a kind of a joke that. And then I was going to put into the Lords of Perpetual Workload or Perpetual being broke. And that's kind of what I come up with to be just weird enough, but not too weird because I didn't want to, offend the Catholics. They're stealing their names. When I turn off the chat, the video comes through perfect. Well, goodness. Gotta keep up all the amazing. Thanks, Jason, for popping in. What are we doing here? Wanted to talk about stuff. The questions that came in earlier. Lynn McCurdy, he's always helping support the channel. Questions, he goes, when you're planning on repairing or restoring a train engine, what things do you consider? Age, make, or gauge? Usually here's what scale that I do the last 2 videos of, because I don't want to, I'm trying not a ton of the exact same scale, but we mostly started out doing HO stuff for a really long time. And then I found some S, and then I found some O, and then I've been mixing it all in all the time. I try to lean a little more heavier on the HO stuff, but then if it's been 2 or 3 videos, then I'm going to do an O video, and then I'll do an S video, or I'll do a Lionel, then I'll do a Marks, and then I'll go back into HO. As far as the ages, seems like when I do DCC stuff, guys don't watch. Even though it's still a locomotive on the inside. It's a new, better chassis design, better gear towers, better motors. You can buy a DCC locomotive, strip the DCC decoder out of it, and have an amazing DC locomotive if one was so inclined. Everything except N scale, Mr. Fishigan. N scale it's a little tough to work on, I got to tell you. Guys that can do that, oof. I've been bit by that N-gauge Bachmann American, and it just, so Lynn McCurdy watches DCC stuff. Model train enjoyer, the least favorite locomotive that we've repaired, Bachmann. More specifically, the top number 1 being the American 440 with the weird drive. It's got the motor in the tender and the drive shaft that goes forward into the boiler cab of the locomotive. And the trucks on the tender in N-gauge, they had walrus vision where the wheels pointed crooked. And then the poor little thing couldn't pull itself down the road. Such a joke. Terrible. Then the next one would be the Bachmann daylights. And then the next one would be one of these ones right here, the Bachmann J1s. This just showed up in a purchase that I got brand new in the box. The drivers are all straight. So this one probably doesn't have broken gears yet, but it will. So I'm going to have to go ahead and put some of those good 3D gears on it to make it something decent. Either that or it's just going to be a shelf queen all of its life. Sent you an email. That's going to be a little tough for me to get into it now. That horror Chases Railway. Yeah. So the HO ones are on, and the American 440s. Yeah. Time with Luke. Does it seem like the stream is working better? Nobody's talking about it anymore, I think. Christian Bachelor out there. I love the S-scale stuff. Why do you think S-scale is the best scale? Oh, what is your favorite American Flyer loco? S-scale is for the time, it wasn't selectively compressed like the Lionel stuff was. And HO really wasn't around yet. It was, but it wasn't very huge. So the S-scale stuff after Gilbert took over the company, the post-war stuff, just amazing. Bulletproof, runs great. They didn't have the advertising that Lionel did, so they're not that big. The newer modern S-scale, holy moly, they are really, really nice. David says it's looking good in Oregon. Remembering Civil War history, which, yeah. Classic model of the week, Williams Santiago. I'm not gonna be able to do that. I don't know how to do any of that fancy mixing and stuff. To get a master class from Ray Bobel to see how he does all of his fancy video editing, and I think he's got a board there that he's computer. I don't know what he's doing, but he's definitely got that figured out, how to mix the video signals and stuff. Less motion, less bits to draw. I should just sit real quiet like this, huh? Robert Sterling said it's looking good up in Canada. It's going good in North Carolina. So other questions, I see them all coming and going in there. Dale Frischetti, Sr. out there, he's still kicking it in the comment section. He throws a lot of stuff. He does a lot of support. he asked a question, about for guys that are getting into DCC, if the Bachmann Easy Command Control Center, the DCC entry-level Bachmann makes, you can't change any CVs with that. You can't do any programming with it. It's to do that for those that are, trying to get into doing the DCC stuff. Avoid that particular transformer, because there's other ones that are better out there that are just a little bit more, that you'll be more happier with to grow into instead of growing out of, just in my opinion. And Ronnie Graybeard Trains wants to find a new motor for his Bachmann. Lots of stuff. You're going to have to look on eBay for a parts locomotive, or fit in and like an aftermarket can motor. Apparently there's guys out there that buy can motors like $2 a piece, but you got to buy 20 of them. They're the right voltage. They just buy them in bulk, and then they use them for everything. I think they hot glue them into the chassis and modify some sort of driveline onto the front of them, and away they go. John Bannicky says every time he watches me, it costs me. I keep getting more tools. I think we were just talking about that in your last comment. Speaking of tools, look at this that showed up today. I gotta get the stuff out of the way. Uh-oh. This here is what they call an arbor press. It's used for squeezing things. You put a pipe in here and you put stuff underneath of it, and you can apply apparently up to 1 ton of pressure. So this is for putting wheels and gears back on. It showed up today, and it weighs like 40 pounds, and it was just shipped. So whoever sent this in, thank you very much. Well, I'll find out who it is sooner or later. This is great for working on bigger stuff, S gauge, some O gauge things. I never had to use a press to press HO wheels on. But I got to tell you, I've never taken too many of them off either. Virginia says it's coming in a little choppy. Lynn, yeah, that would be. Well, arbor presses are used in a lot of machining applications, and yeah, they're a little tool. Now I need to get pullers for pulling DC wheels off. All too big for them. What was the trick you used to restore black finish on die-cast steam Lionel flyer shells? Christian Bachelor. After I managed to strip the black off, I went to the Cabela's or Pro Bass Shop, whatever you call it now, and I bought what's called gun bluing solution. And it's you just wipe it on, and it's more of a dark blue than it is a black, but that's what makes firearms the color that they are. And it's a metal treatment. So I did that on the Lionel video that I repainted red and silver. I kind of call it the Pacemaker logo. Michael Barnett, I'm not talking about HO wheels for rolling stock. I'm talking about the HO wheels for the locomotives. If you want to take them in and replace gears on the and stuff. Yes, that is an ON30 Hobby Time with Luke. I've got a mess of those that I'm going to have coming up for sale. And these over here are brass. I got a bunch of brass that showed up that I wanted to blow out the door. If you guys are interested in brass, reach out to me, and then we can start and leave a phone number. Email me with a phone number. Then I'll call you, and we can talk about stuff and see if we can sling this brass out the door. Railroad preservation. Oh, this is going so looking so much. Watchmaker tools. Yeah, I need to get some of those. If you need decals, James Cotter. Yeah, I order all my decals off at the hobby shop here in town that had them, and I've good luck. Guys are selling these decals like $6.95, $7, $7.25 plus shipping's pretty cheap if you order 8 or 10 of them. eBay is where I get mostly all my parts at. Anything Lionel, I try to get it from the Train Tender in upstate New York. This feller knows his stuff, and I think he might carry marks and flyer stuff too. I've never asked, but I know he's got a ton of stuff. What were the wheels you used on your Dremel tool to clean the wheels instead of the wire wheel? ended up putting a link in the bottom of that video. I think it was just the last video I did, or two ago. I don't know what they're called. Once again, a guy just sent them in to me and they showed up. Amazon has them, but I do have the link in the description portion of that video. The only Amazon link that's in there, and that'll take you down there. Train Tender does carry parts. That's good to hear that. Thank you very much, Scale Model Apprentice. Whatever happened to the crooked wheel problem on the Marks Loco? We had a crooked wheel problem, Giuseppe, on the Lionel, the pre-war 9E. I pulled him off. I talked to he shipped out some new ones, warrantied them up, no problem at all. I shipped him back the bad ones, and that was it. Problem got solved. We made a short video of the 259E running around on a figure 8 track, and then I sent it back to the... What is the magnetizer machine you use to remagnetize motors? Come on, Troy Daniels. Troy, that is a Ron Dodd remagnetizer. It came from Europe, the UK, that island. You know those guys that we had a little tuffle with 100 years ago. I made a video about it, and in that video, I believe there's a link in the description on where to get them at. The guy makes them out of his house. Ron Dodd, or it might be Ronald Dodd, D-O-D-D. And you can also go on YouTube and type in Ronald Magnetizer. He's made a couple of videos, and in the video, he links also how to get in touch with him, because he builds them out of his house, shoots them out the door. I've been hearing they're 2 to 220, 230 shipped to America, and you order one in less than a week. Hell, Tim bought one down in Australia, and he got it in a week from the time he ordered it. So that guy gets on it and mails them out. Bristle wheel discs is what Trainman 1993 says they are. Bristle wheel discs. Search that in Amazon. Yeah, there's Tim right there, kicked in. Tim's Bits and Pieces. Yeah, those remagnetizers are the bomb, I tell you. Bunk says it's lagging again. What book do you use to find out the different variations of the post-war Lionels? This one right here. It's out of date. David Doyle. This is from like 2004. The prices are off, but the variations are never going to change. So you can find these used on Amazon or eBay for 12, 15 bucks, because everybody wants the current one. I do see that they put out a 2024, I believe. I seen it somewhere. Pete's Pretty Good Things. Yeah, that little monster ran like a beaut after doing it. Same with that 61 Pacific, the Athearn, the very first steamer they made. Those two came out amazing. Not Gavin. The Flying Yankee, I am to start working on learning how to plate. This here's a 333 Marks. Oddly enough, these things sell for, well, if you have the tender, that ain't it. If you have the tender, matching tender with it, the tenders cost you 50 bucks. And then together, these things are worth like 100 bucks, which is odd for Marks. But I want to replate all of this stuff on it right here. So that's my goal with that. And then if I get successful at replating, then I'm going to start trying to replate the wheels on the Flying Yankee. Or I might have to take it into town to get it nickel plated. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Okay, oops. Looks like we might have uh-oh. Now Australia's not getting me anymore. Dang it. Fit on the Lionel top. Oh, John D. Yeah, I just seen that video also on the Lionel collectible locomotives from Toy Tricks, I believe it was. Pretty interesting how some of those things go. The 33 of the window shades. Yeah, John Nipperberg. Yes, I know it's a smoker. Makes me excited. Also, I'm trying to find a 999 that's a side smoker. No, 666. One of them. I want to get the Mark side smoker. Oh, 203 people. Yeah, we had problems with the cutting out kind of thing. One thing that's kind of exciting is that these Hobbytown E7 drives that we got, I come to find out that there's a gentleman out in, well, I think he's in upstate New York, also Nick Benedetto. I'm blowing Italian names. De Benedetto. He seems to be holding the reins of what's left of Hobbytown of Boston. He's got all their stock up there still. And he's shooting me down what's called multi-drive. So when you've got an A and a B, the chassis, I don't have chassis for these ones, but it's got a drive line that comes forward with a U-joint in between the two, and then it hooks into the trucks of the front one. So you've got one giant motor, which is big like this monster right here, which is like the size of my thumb, driving two of these, and the guy tells me that it can pull like 100 cars. And I don't have 100 cars or a layout big enough for it. I might have to put a big enough DCC decoder in it that can handle a 3-amp load, and then see if the local club will let me bring it down there and pull 100 of their cars. Maybe. All they can never do is just say no. Yeah. Bringing up again. Oh, yeah. Audio's clipping. I just got one of those Lindsay Motor Super Drive instead. Something, refresh your YouTube and it works fine. Lots of things that we're doing here. Try to tell you about stuff that's up. This here is a Rail Power Products SD90 Mac. I don't remember where it came from, what it's doing, but this is all that we've got right here. And I've been trying to collect Rail Power Products stuff for this. When I first found it, Rail Power Products still offered railings and windshields for it, and now they don't anymore. So I keep trying to find them on the used market, on the eBay. Canada, Quebec says they can't hear me. Dang it. We're just having a tough time here. I guess when numbers go way low, then I'll know that everybody aborted because I blew it on this first one. We'll have to try to do it again. Troy Daniel says that some of his locomotives are arcing. Well, AC locomotives will, Line X and American Flyers, Marks. But a DC locomotive, if it's arcing, that means your track or your wheels are really dirty and they got to be cleaned. Messy Modeler. And Dan Crane said that he restarted the stream and reopened it and it came back better. So I guess, yep, bugs. Got bugs going on. Yeah, so ON3 there, HON3 brass and HO brass. And then in the back over there, this is bad. That one, there's someone's over here. They are ON30 stuff. Bachmann Spectrum, 1880s. They look like this one here, 260. Nice looking motos, trying to get those blown out the door. What is your guys' thoughts on the fantasy livery lines? Like that red, I don't suppose it even going to show up here. It's right up there. No? Yes? No? Yes? This one right there. That's the pacemaker did. I want to take this American Flyer 293 shell. I did a rebuild on a 293 and the shell had the pilot broken off. And I believe this one here came in from, I call Dave, East Coast Dave. So he sent, I think it came in from him. And I want to paint this one to look like the Bumblebee livery of the Denver Rio Grande Western. I think that would look really neat. Thank you for that. Not Gavin. William Dyack wanted to know if we're moving it to the RV. Yes, there is things that are taking place with that. I have to finish the 5th wheel remodel, and that would have been completed last fall, but I had a back injury that took place at the beginning of July because somebody poisoned our male German Shepherd, and I had to lift him into the outfit to get him to the vet, and I spilled my milk. So that put me out of work for about 2 months. If you look, I had a back brace on underneath my shirt so I could keep making videos. So this spring, I got to finish the 5th wheel, then we can get into that, and then I can start to do the remodel on the 40-foot trailer, the red and silver one. Troy Daniels says that'd be a great paint scheme. Thanks. Modern O-scale repairs. George, was that? I don't know how to say that name. Gojira's Trains. What was I going to say? Modern O-scale repairs, from what I understand, the thing you need to repair on them is the board out. And if it's over 5 years old, now this is just rumors, I'm not sure, you can't get replacement boards or parts or this or that. And I don't have the skill set to, pick up a transistor and wire in, start diagnosing electronics at that level. So I don't really mess with the newer O-gauge stuff. And also I don't really, I guess the newest one I did was that Amtrak no, it wasn't an F40P. That Amtrak set, one MTH sound card in it. And so that's 25, 30 years old, I guess. Remember why I asked William Dyack. Okay. Vintage stuff is the best. There's just lots of great things about the old simple stuff. Ron's an RV guy, not a TV guy. Okay. Is your after that? Pete's pretty good trains. No, we had to put that male down because somebody poisoned it. It was just suffering really bad. It had some sort of nerve damage. Kicked in, took it about 2-3 days, and he was so messed up. He was 8 years old, so we had to put him down. And then this summer, the black cow that we had, she aged out as soon as the new puppy showed up. She's like, I'm done. I'm tired of it. I want to go across the bridge. She got crippled up real bad. Somebody asked I think in the chat before we even got started, if you can use the new fancy stuff in the vintage Lionel. This right here is, I think it's called TMCC. I don't know what else electronic controls is, but if you see up underneath here, it's got a pickup and it's got a speed sensor on one of these wheels and electronics on the inside, and it makes chuffing sound that chuffs with the speed of the steam locomotive. These are picked up used on eBay for about $100, and you put them behind your old vintage something. This shell right here, they made this style of shell in the post-war, and you might be able to put, a different, I think all the bodies are probably the same. Plug that along behind your vintage, and it makes the whistles, it talks, does the bells, all with your analog controller. If you've seen that in my video, the TV interview, this was the tender behind a 1952. This was making all the noise on its own. It wasn't some DCC thing. This was it. So neat. I think it's great that this is out there and it's all self-contained. Very neat. Give it like some people. Whoa, James, what's somebody saying? some people can be real meanies. Watchmaker, thank you very much. The shelves, yeah, they came out real nice. If it wasn't for getting the train or the interview, then I probably would have put it off for another month or two. Speaking of interviews, I got a local guy that does freelance. He's going to come in tomorrow and do an interview, and then he's going to try to pitch the article to some national train publications. I don't know if he's got any yet or how that whole thing works, or if the train publications have their own writers, and I don't know, but that's coming up with any type of media being centered around me. Josh Day, I am working on looking into selling the shelves, I have to research how long the shelf can be to ship it. I know we can ship it freight truck, but it might be kind of expensive, but it'd be worth it. If you order 10 shelves, you'd have 100 feet, and it only costs you, I don't, 200, 250 bucks. You'd be way farther ahead than buying the aluminum ones, which can run anywhere between 80 to 130 for a 5-foot section of it, I think. Richie N25, thank you very much. Just popped in and he showed up after all the all the streaming headaches. Keep America and Israel great. I didn't know what you is. I never know what to call you when you leave comments and stuff like that. Giuseppe, thank you very much. Wanted to buy me a beer. Thank you. I was talking with Lynn McCurdy yesterday afternoon. Told him that I had overdid it going to the bingo hall, visiting with a friend of mine for a little long. Created a lot of havoc with me yesterday also. Will I ever set up shop at a train show? Stephen Sievert asks. There's one train show that takes place here in Montana in the spring up in Helena that I'm aware of. And I don't think so. Because I'm just really, I have trains and I've been buying stuff, but then I sell them so quickly through eBay that I don't really have that much stuff to take to a train show. But never say never. That's what they say. The news story was cool. Thank you. What do we got? I got another question that came in on the email side before I started. Daniel Crane II. He says, when you look to buy a new locomotive on eBay, what are the top 3 or 4 things for to avoid buying a bad piece of hardware? On anything Bachmann, what is this one here? This is a Bachmann Spectrum. You are more than likely going to run into cracked gears on it. And I believe that those happen from different temperatures. The nylon gear expands and contracts at different rates compared to the metal axle that it's on. The nylon gets brittle. It cannot be glued and it snaps. And then you're done. You're done with it. There is, we've had some luck with 3D printed gears for some of the Bachmann stuff. There's a nice filler. I made 2 videos on it. The video that's got the locomotive that looks like this one, the J1 class. That guy, he found a good nylon compound. I can't remember his name, but in that video, there's a link to his eBay store to purchase them nylon. So that's what I know about that. I'm going to try it again with that locomotive and run it, see how well it does, pull it. So the bingo, yeah, Lynn, the bingo, because of I lost for coffee at Starbucks. Well, no, thank you very much, Jersey Bill. So true about when, unfortunately, yes. So let's say, going back to the question, if it wasn't Bachmann, let's say it's a Proto 2000. Well, you might run into, those are beautiful. I mean, Bachmann and Protos and thousands, and I even hear some of the Walthers entry-level ones, the train suffer from cracked axle gears on their diesels. Now, the thing about Proto 2000 and the Walthers is that you can get replacement axle gears. It's just the Bachmanns, the steamers, and the diesel that you can't get them for. This is just my experience. Others may find that theirs works just fine. I wish that we could find somebody that would make the gears like the way that they let's get China to manufacture us some gear, and we'll just buy them in bulk, and then we can have them for everybody. So got some guys throwing out $5 super thanks. Thank you very much. Here's something I'm excited about with the Super Lube. Look at this. That ain't it. Dang it. I lost. Oh, no, I didn't. Yes, I did. Come to find out that I found some Super Lube. Oh, oiler. Well, I'm just not prepared at all. Everything is lost and dropped. So I got the super grease. This here ran out and the sticker fell off of it. and I went searching around. So I found Super Lube lightweight synthetic oil off the Amazon. So that's what we're going to be using here shortly, as soon as I find out wherever I put it. It's been an absolute wreck in here for the last month, I think, month and a half. Ever since that N-Gage collection showed up, I have been Steve, am I retired? Do I still have a day job? I fix RVs in the summertime. I have my own repair facility for RVs. And then I did this also all summer long. And then in the winter, I jump into this even harder. And I'm hoping to do this full time because I've been since I was 18, 19 years old, and I'm tired. I'm broken down. I need a desk job. So, but I love fixing stuff. Northwest Short Lines. Everybody always loves to say the keyword is used to. John D. They used to do a lot of stuff, but they don't have a lot of what people say they used to. They used to make gear drives for lots of things, but you can't make them. Christian Bachelor, thank you very much. We're working on Lionel. Ever thought about working on Lionel and American Flyer accessories and making videos? I have got a ton of Lionel post-war accessories, and when I get into the new facility, a larger facility, the primary layout is going to be an old 3-rail with the old rail and all the old accessories, and all the ones that are nasty. So they will be getting refurbished, and I'll make videos of those as well. Yes. Some HO scale hoppers, coffee grounds for their coal pieces. Glenn Narwold, yeah, guys used to do that back in the old days. Coffee grounds, glue them in there. Okay, somebody's talking about synthetic valve oil. I guess valve oil for musical instruments, brass. I guess trumpets, trombones, tubas. Thanks for the kind words there, Brian. Super Lube, yeah, seems to be kind of everywhere. Going back to the top 3 or 4 things you look out for or to avoid. Also, when I'm buying locomotives on eBay, I guess the older or the more rarer, the more I like it. And then the more kind of hammered out that it is. You know, the older ones like Varney's and Hobby Towns, Cast, Tyco, or Manchu, I've confirmed. I talked to a guy named Brian Teskey. I talked to the phone on the phone for 3 hours one day. And it's pronounced Mantua, but it's not chew like a dip, a chew in your lip. It's just a very slight Mantua sound to it. Cast stuff. I enjoy finding those locomotives to repair. Something that needs to be repainted, fixed up. So I don't go to eBay to look for the pristine cherry ones. I'm going to it to look for basket cases or lots of basket cases to have stuff to work on. But Curdy keeps me busy out there with a lot of things to work on. Plus, we get a lot of locomotives from other fellers all across the country. Some come down from Canada. Lots and lots of stuff. Guys donate to the channel. It's so very nice of everybody out there for doing that. Thanks. G-scale for the outside, Cannon Country. Oddly enough, I've got a G-scale steam locomotive waiting to get worked on. It's a Aristocraft. Gentleman named Gordon sent it in. We're chatting along. He's talking about this. Well, yeah, can I send this locomotive in? Thinking, yeah, an Aristocraft. They're rare enough. They're not common. Yeah, send it in. This box shows up. That's like, it's huge. I'm like, what in Lord's name is this thing? Open it up, and that. But he only sent the locomotive that's about this wide, with no tender. So when we go to do that and run it on the track, it's going to look silly because it doesn't have the tender. But that's the next G gauge that's coming up. Is this big, beautiful? I think it's a Pacific, a 462. I think it is just a monster. Might be a 282, one of the two, something like that. Man, Mantua. If you like old HO, Dean Schultz, I got some Revels. I've got 2 of them actually to fix. The first one, I've been waiting to work on it until I get a remagnetizer. Now that I've got that, now I got I got some Revels that I can get knocked out. Yep. Lynn, yeah, Lynn sends some real zingers. Uh, Malay, no, it's not a Malay country. It's not an articulated locomotive. Pacific, or it could be a Hudson, one of the two. Scale train station. I don't want. No, I got an N gauge that's sitting here that's been donated, and I don't want to work on it. Just I think it's an early Atlas, so it would be a Mahano, I believe, and it's not a River Rossi, but they're just too small. Yep. So there I got that one. I think that Lynn asks, what's the next stage or part of your layout will you be working on next? Well, my layout over here, it's just a big long loop point, and I haven't had any chance to do anything to it for like a year or more because of my work schedule with fixing the stuff and remodeling fifth wheels and shooting videos, and I haven't been able to do any modeling on it. And then I decided I need a bigger space, so I'm like, well, I work on this and then tear it down and go to someplace else. So currently layouts aren't being made. I'd say like a temporary O gauge or S gauge layouts to test run the stuff when we get done fixing it. But until I get into a larger venue, doing any layout work at all. Oh, coffee making me burp. Thanks for popping in, Train Man 1983. Do you plan to scale rolling stock kits? I'm not going to build any rolling stock kits on the channel because those are pretty self-explanatory. They come with instructions. And also with painting, I tried doing a video on how I painted my roads, and it didn't hit very well at all. So it seems like I'm kind of in the category of just fix for us. Don't be doing anything else, train boy. We want to, get it fixed up. We'll watch a painting channel if we want to learn how to paint. Who's that feller? Jason Jensen Trains. That guy knows how to paint and do art. Oh my goodness. I'm not that creative at all, so I would never be a very good one to show how to paint. Spray paint locomotives, that's about it. I have Dale Fischetti sent me an airbrush, and I had another one here. I had one of my own here also, so I got to get into airbrush for sure. Building to send building kits. Oh yeah. I'm ready to tackle another. How about some Bowser kits, Lynn? Those are nice and enjoyable. God, you're killing me. And I'll just do one every 3 to 4. God, yeah. Scale train station. I hear you. Yeah, slip it in. Do one, and then after a while, people are just used to seeing it. Right now, I'm trying to slip in DC videos because, I'm not gonna be the guy that's like, if you don't go DCC, you suck. I don't know. I have to think like that. If you're maybe interested in it, maybe watch a couple DC repair videos. I mean, they got to be worked on too. They need to be maintained just as well. I'm not going to go into deep depths on how to program them. And this is the best thing since pointed poop. No, guys like them, guys don't like them. I'm jamming nothing down nobody's throat. But yeah, we're going to slip in a few more DC videos as time goes by. Big boy DC. When I go to run, it keeps cutting out on my layout. Trains and stuff. Interestingly enough, I have an Athearn Genesis big boy that was donated by Curdy. The guy's a saint, absolute saint. That's got the same MR or MRDC decoder, MDC, that one in it. So with that, it comes in 2 to 3 months, then you should be able to see where all the pickups are at on it. It's more than really dirty wheels or the decoder's not very good in it. You might either put a new decoder in it or convert it to DC. Shake the box kits. Oh yeah. At least went. Oh yeah, Lynn McCurdy. He knows everybody. Put the items in clock cleaner in a bag, then into the water. Tim's Bits and Pieces down there in Australia got himself a cleaner. A lot of guys wonder about that ultrasonic cleaner. I had read or watched something that says you fill it up with just plain water and then put all your parts that you want to clean in a Ziploc bag with whatever type of degreaser you're going to use. And the reason you do this is because then all the filth stays in the Ziploc bag. You pull it off kind of like a condom, and then all the ick is in the bag. Your water inside the ultrasonic cleaner stays nicer, so you don't have to clean it out so much. So that's why I always put all my stuff in Ziploc baggies before it goes in the ultrasonic cleaner. The E, oh, quit it. The EA is silent in T. Oh, yeah. DC and DC just thought a civil war. MRC decoders, especially back in 2006, not very good. Yeah, but I learned one more thing by working on that locomotive. And when it was on DC, it worked like a dream. So if you want a DC with sound like DCC, get an early Athearn Genesis with where's that? And with an MRC decoder in it, with that little thing, you push the buttons on it, and it'll work dream, just like DC. And you can turn the bell on, you can turn the horn on. About $160 for that one on eBay. I've seen what they sell for. Nice locomotive, creeped good, didn't make blue box growly sounds. So they really did a nice job re-engineering them. Maybe pressure for layout wiring and the use of bus bars. Frank O'Connor. Yeah. I need my channel. I got playlists on it. A lot of guys, they never use a computer to look at the channel on the YouTube, and there's so much more information that you can get by going to the channel computer and sniff around in there. Just get the mouse and poke around, and you can see stuff. And I'm trying to organize it all to specific ideas instead of having to scroll through what is now 156 videos. You want to work on an Athearn, click on all my Athearn video viewing, or a Bachmann, or Lionel, or Marx, or Fire, or Tyco. I do have some layout wiring videos in there, and I don't believe I got them categorized, but that's a good idea. Tomorrow I should categorize them so you can find layout wiring, layout track, so that way you can find them quicker if you need to. So that's a great idea. William Dyack, what's the best, cheapest place to buy or get replacement horns for diesels? If it's just the plastic ones that go on the top, get them on eBay. Athearn makes them in lots of different styles. You can get them on eBay, $6 to, I guess, for a bag of 4 to 10. Convert a Marx loco to DCC. Giuseppe, we wouldn't be able to do that because the motor in the Marx ones are alternating current. And I think that DCC wouldn't work with that type of power. I'm not sure if I read somewhere that there's DC, like a type of decoder that you can put in the older ones to work on AC, like the Lionel TP-ML-MNOSOP. It might be. I just haven't researched it enough to give an intelligent answer. Superlube! Hey, do you still work at your local hobby shop or Lita? No, I only worked there about 3 months, and then I didn't want to be there anymore, so I left. And then they moved the location to a town in the western part of Montana, is what I know now. Ron, how do you do your overhead workbench shots? Pete's pretty good. Well, I've got a camera mount up here for my cell phone. It looks a lot like this one, and it's bolted to my shelf. There's just a shelf right up. It's right here. See, it's part of it right there. So it just hangs out in the front. I put my cell phone in it, and it's facing down. Quit it. So it faces down like this. I just hit record. It's over the top of my thing, and away I go. So real simple mod right there. I do a video with the top 10 or 20 tools, lubes. Christian Bachelor, that's a great idea. And then put links at the bottom of them so guys can buy them. I'm always getting questions. Where'd you get that? Where do you get that? Where's that at? So I need to figure out how to get the Amazon, that program that you can join and somehow do something with it and make a little bit of referring to stuff. So just due to lack of flight. Okay. JWC Tech, this classic model trains mat that I've got, I had a local sign shop make it for me. I have the normal green ones that you can actually cut on. I took it down, say, hey, make this. Here's my logo. Do this. It's put onto a piece of aluminum with a piece of clear over the top of it, and you can't cut on it, and you can't solder on it, and you can't, because it makes it look nasty. But after 2.5 years, I guess any work mat would look pretty nasty too. So yeah, I just had a local sign shop or vinyl shop make it up for me. Steve Kirkhoffner wants to know, does anybody make a well-built box car that has Kadee couplers besides Kadee themselves? Well, Kadee is a nice, BLI makes amazing stuff. If you want $80 for them. My box cars, they're Tycos. They're sitting back right over there, and they're gonna eventually have steel wheels, updated trucks, and Kadees on them. So I run junk because if it hits the ground, I'm not mad. When I knock it over with my belly, I can go up to the corner of my layout and knock stuff over because my belly sticks out now. And I saw really high-end stuff. I'm not even familiar with it. There's a lot of nice high-end stuff out there. I know that though. Gerald Gold LED lights for replacement. They're LED lights with resistors wired into them. Some of them will work with the polarity, care which way it's coming into it, it'll just work. Some of them don't. Diodes and resistors that if you have to wire up your own. Now, I don't have that information on the top of my head where I can just regurgitate it at a moment's. If I was to do something like that, I would have to look it up. I just buy LED bulbs that have the diodes and resistors all wired into them. So all I got to do is wire up 2 wires and I go. And I don't usually have reverse lights. I just even have headlights because you can't hardly see them, and it doesn't matter to me very much. So I don't mess with lighting that much. Electronic Railroad makes the AC command boards. Oh, Robert Amos, I'll have to look into that. Trainsmania. I do have 2 British locomotives. One is a Lord of the Isle, and the other one is it looks like it's 1/64 scale. It's huge. It's big. It might not be. I don't know. And I video on them. I want to make a video on them. I just haven't made a video on them yet. I don't know. I'm thinking the American market, they'll go, what the? And then they won't watch it. Or it'll make the European market go, about time. And then whatever slang word they use for us, Americans. And then guys from across the pond watching. So it could either go really good or it could go really bad. Troy Daniels, DCC equipped engines. The current new ones are capable of running on DC. You can program the decoder to do DC, and they can run on DC all day long, and nothing bad will happen to them. I just got done researching that when I was learning about that MRC DCC controller. So the recent abomination DCC decoders, DC doesn't bother at all. And there's going to be guys that's going to fight about this. So that's just my take on it. What do we got? Lynn's got lots of questions over here. What's the biggest challenge in getting parts for repair? Lynn's got a locomotive here. It is New York City Niagara, but it's been redone up into the Northern Pacific 2626, which I understand is the locomotive that first used tip bearings in it. And it's unfortunately a Bachmann Spectrum. it succumbed to a sudden deacceleration syndrome and bent a couple of the axles on the wheels. We have been looking for 6 months to try to find a parts Bachmann Niagara. And the funny thing is that they're all parts locomotives that are being for sale on the eBay, because you can tell by looking at them in the rods, when the rods are all crooked like this, drive rods. But we finally found one. So the hardest part is getting parts. The hardest part is waiting for parts to show up, and then usually having to pay a premium price for the parts. Makes it difficult. Richie, thanks for all your support out there. Watching a lot of guys do that. They'll watch them all. Even if they don't model that gauge, they say they like to watch the video. So that makes me feel good. Show me the UK. John D wants to see what this thing looks like. Showed up in a lot. I don't think it's got any. If there was numbers, yeah. So that's it. Bigger. I mean, other HO stuff is like, this is just a monster. And I know it's Fleischmann, more than likely, and that's about as far as I got. And it probably has DB in its name. Long time. It still runs. Just wobbles. Yep. Yeah, it wobbles because the bent wheels is what does this. We're going to get it fixed, though, because we found a parts locomotive. The guy sold it for cheaper than any Niagara that I found. So I about ran over my Cat 5 cable laying on the ground. We're going to get, hello, Patrick Sparks. Sergeant Dalton, USMC, medic, retired. Good to see you. Watchmaker, I could send Ron enough to keep him. Goodness, Lynn's got lots of locomotives. Trains, thank you very much. That was a German or Swiss locomotive prototype. Yeah, I'm going to go, well, yeah, German, because it's very, very, that's for sure. And then the pantographs and there's a few numbers that can be visible on the side. It does say E44 1952. So that's probably what it is an E44. I got a few over here working on an N-scale. What made me decide to shave the beard, remembering Civil War history? I bet you remembering War history's probably got a beard. I can't grow a beard. What are those cool looking ZZ Top, big old full, you can have a bird in the bottom of it and not even really know it. No, I get this fucking burn beard, and it doesn't come in. And then the little lady says that I look kind of homeless, and I should clean up a little bit. So then I did. I cut my hair and my beard, and everybody goes, my God, you look 15 years younger. Well, okay. Maybe another 10 years down the road, I'll see if I can grow any more facial hair. Every year I get a little older, it comes in just a little bit better. Oh yeah, the Billy Gibbons look, you betcha. Fleischmann E44, about 19. Well, okay, yeah. Thanks for that information there. The struggle is rare. Yes, Pete. Yes, Pete's brains. Some of my buddies were growing beards in like junior year at high school. It's like this is. I didn't even have to shave till I was like 29. Goodness. Burning it. Lynn McCurdy. Yeah, I could never. Well, it'd get in my beer all the time, Lynn. That thing hanging down like that. I'd be dripping wet, and it'd be a mess. Just a mess. So I don't know if other questions have come in. If somebody sent them on the channel, I see. I don't know. C8, a question. Where did you purchase your magnetizer? William Angelo sent that on. We got to that one. Jazz. Same question. Dale Fraschetti, looking forward to it. Will Lionel be updated to modern electronic gizmos? David, yeah, get one of these Lionel sound tenders. That'll knock it out for you. Yes, Dan Crane. So you didn't answer my first and last question. Lynn McCurdy, the first question. Take the wife to, since we, okay. When you plan on repairing or restoring a train engine, what do I take? What things do I consider? Age, make, gauge. I read it out. I really didn't answer it, I guess. Lynn's riding me over. Age, make, and gauge. I guess I don't consider. I sit here stare at the wall. I'll sit here like this, and I'll just look, and I'll look around because I try to keep it either works or don't work. It doesn't matter. It's on the wall, and I'll just stare and stare and stare, and I'll think about it. I might start on it, then I'll not and put it back and get something else. It's got to move me, I guess, like a poem or a song. No, the wife taking the wife to dinner. When should I take the wife to dinner? Next weekend. Should I take your wife to dinner? Take your wife to dinner next weekend. You lady, we try to go out every Saturday night, unless the weather's ick. We haven't done it, but yeah, we usually. I shut down production about 4:30, and we get ready to go and leave at 5, and then come home and have some beers, and then I get back out here on Sunday around noon and finish up the videos. And the last question, Lynn, do you ever get tired of me trying to be? I don't. Lynn McCurdy's a hoot. For those of you that met him in person or anything like that, he is a great, great guy. John Blanton, have you worked on a Marx HO steam locomotive? I've done, no, I have not. I've done a switcher, and I don't even know if they make steam. It was a steamer switcher, but I don't know. I have not encountered a steam Marx HO locomotive. I know, Lynn. Yes, he always has. Always has. How about we open a repair shop? Troy Daniels. How about we open a repair? You send me the locomotives. Yeah, Troy Daniels. That's kind of what I'm trying to do here. So since we got another hot in town, and they are really into remote control airplanes, models like cars and boats and ships, and they don't do anything with our cars because there's another model shop that does that. And then they do 3-rail really heavy. And then after we lost the train hobby store, they started picking up doing train HO and N a little bit more. They've not as much as the train store that we lost, unfortunately. Sean, hey, I got the Athearn Little Monster running pretty good. Hey, I'm glad, Sean, that you got that. Sean 12th man. I'm glad you got your little monster running good. 96 New York City Hudson. S-scale train. No, I did not know that, Christian. I got so much old stuff to play with, and I like making the old stuff run good. Speaking of old stuff, that pickup of mine, in the 86 when I graduated, Chevy 350 small block was the king, and all the speed parts that you ever form, I never had enough money for. So finally, as you get through life and you can get stuff that you wanted, I built the Chevy 350 engine that I've always wanted from 1986, and the amount of money I put into it, I could have just bought an old wore out LS and bolted it in and had twice or 3 times the engine that small block Chevy ever dreamed of being for just cheap. Hindsight, it's always 2020. Does my wife like my train habit? Jersey Bill asks. I think she does. Yeah. She doesn't give me a hard time about it or nothing like that. It keeps me out of her hair, I guess. Then she can watch what she wants to watch on the channel. On the YouTube and TV, instead of me coming in there putting them into shoot 'em up movies. The Triangle Lord of the Isles. Okay, yeah, John D. Yeah, that Lord of the Isles will be an interesting one to get going. I did put it on the track here a couple days. It doesn't grind, try to do nothing at all. So hopefully we can get it back around. She likes the trains, not. Oh, Peggy Middlesworth's on the computer because she left a comment in there. Cannon Country. Yeah, that'd be great to do a 7.5-inch gauge. I have done a live steam stationary engine video, and it didn't hit very well, so I hit it, and it's going to be probably re-released in a remastered series here shortly. And I really enjoyed that. And then I had another one that came in that N-Gage lot, and a gentleman wanted to buy it real bad, so I shipped it. So now I'm looking for another stationary steam just to putt around on. But yeah, I know enough to probably scald myself or not scald myself, one of the two. So high pressure steam. I do know how to plumb. So yeah, that'd be great to have a live steam layout around the house. So that B&D Railroad, I'm doing good. How are you? Welcome. I do watch your. I would be happy to work on any local garage you have. These German Fleischmann stuff. My grandma. Super. Thanks, Robert, for popping in. Daniel Kane, thank you very much. So what have we talked about? Almost all the stuff over here. Arbor presses and things. All the stuff that gets sent in. It's great. All the stuff I get to learn. I love sharing all the information with everybody out there. And I like when everybody sends the information back. You know, if I do something wrong, they'll say, hey, do it like this. Honest, everybody has just been this nicest pie. There's no meanies that rear their ugly head, which is a giant benefit. Better knock on wood. So, remembering Civil War history because it's a Bachmann. They're poorly engineered. They're cheap. The plastic is thin, and they melt the smokestack. Best thing to do is go in there and disconnect your steam smoke, so it quits melting your shell. So yupper. So I got lots of these Lionel 262s and 264s. Oh, there's 8 of them up there. So I'm going to come up with fantasy schemes like I did the pacemaker, and see how those go over. Because I think these are, back in the old days, you never repainted a lot. It's like, oh my God, the sin. But now these things aren't worth the whistling tender is worth more than the locomotive. It's odd. Whistling tender, $50. Those locomotives, you can see, right, everything's backwards. I don't them $20, $15. It's just sad. So I'm going to strip them, and I'm going to fantasy livery the things up into something that's different looking, and then maybe I'll sell them out really good. I haven't actually looked at the prices in the catalog. Somebody's asking, Christian, I guess I got this one here I found, and they gave it to me because I guess it's out of date. But yeah, I don't look at the pricing. This one doesn't even have prices. But yeah, you go online, and $1,800 for a locomotive does seem a little excessive. Do you need to go outside or something? The dog is in here with me and being a hassle. She doesn't talk yet. Duco Loco, HO187, thank you very much. What's the hardest loco rebuild that you've worked on? Or did you give up on it? John Loretta, it's that the biggest pain was the Bachmann N-Gage American 440. Give up on it. It's just, I just concluded that it would just never ever run. It's just any other local that's been in here, I've not given up on. I fought to get it to run. Now, does it run reliably? No, but it runs. Sometimes they still need some love. But I'll hammer out that last name so bad. Crozier, love the channel. If it's my old HAM box cars to knuckle couplers, body mount them or truck mount. DRK 5594. I've got a video how to upgrade cheap cars. I would mount them on the body. You'll be happier with it in the long run. You'll grow into them instead of leaving them on the trucks and updating the Talgo trucks with a Katy coupler. Eventually, you're going to want them on the body, so you might as well do it now in the first place. You'll be here when you're backing up long loads. That's why they put them on the bodies. Uh-oh. Louis Rawl, he's from Argentina, and I don't have my translate handy right now, so I won't be able to answer him because I can't read Argentinian. I'm going to say Spanish, or it could be what the guys in Brazil speak. So you're a great example of just not giving up to solve the problem. Well, you're making a video. Yeah, I want to be the guy that's like, cool, he quit on another one. Oh, he quit on another one. You know, you gotta knock it out. Everybody wants to quit, and everybody says, oh, I would have threw that in the garbage a long time ago, and I would have done this and that. And I'm just like, well, I mean, how I can make 3 videos like that, and then nobody's gonna watch anymore. It'd be like watching the Walking Dead. You know how they never got a break after, well, they just never got a break. And it's like, you know, because they never win. And then I quit watching it because it was just a hassle. Did he make a video on one? B&D Railroad on an HO American Flyer Hudson. Yeah, I think I've done a Hudson, a 462, 448. I don't have it memorized, the wheel alignment and in my head, but they're all the same. American Flyers, you get the shell off. They're also very similar. But it's about time to do another Flyer video and then give it a custom paint job. So if I start on tomorrow, I should have it done in a week. Spanish spoken in Argentina, Portuguese in Brazil. Thank you, John. Portuguese was the one I mess up with. I got the guy, I call him subscriber number 2. Great guy, lives down in São Paulo, Brazil, and he's introduced me to Argentina and or Portuguese because I thought they Spanish. It looks very similar, but yep. He was saying, hey, Classic Model Trains, what's your opinion on the Strasbourg number 90 model from Lionel? I don't. Is there one around here? I have no idea what the Strasbourg model 90 is from Lionel. Sorry. What's your opinion on the model from? No idea. I want to share the current story about eBay and finding the address odd. Oh. Okay, so I had Lynn donates a bunch of locomotives, and then they were on the shelf, and I'm like, well, let's run this and see what's going on, because I'm literally in a 12 by 20 cabin, and half of the laundry room and a toilet and a sink. It's very, very small in here, so storage is not very big. So I got to weed out stuff after a while. And I pick up this locomotive and I put it on a track and it runs. So I list it on the eBay. And then I'm not paying any attention. And an eBay message, because Lynn knows like 13 different ways to message me on stuff. And he's sniffing around. Yeah, I recognize that locomotive. It's got my club numbers on it. I think I'm going to buy it from you. Well, here I think I'm talking to another member in this model railroading club, the High Desert Modular Model Railroad Club. Okay, not knowing that I'm chatting with Lynn. And then I go to make the packing slip for it. It's all boxed up. I paid for the packing slip through the eBay thing, and I see his name on it. So I give him a call. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Why are you paying for this? Well, I didn't realize I was talking to Lynn, and he donated a locomotive to me, shipped it up here. I looked at it, put it on the track. It ran, and then put it for sale, and then he buys it, and now we're shipping it back to him. Not the most efficient repair services going on there, is it? I'm the Desert Rat 3. Yes, I didn't pay any attention to that. Everybody in their code names. Lynn, did Ron send an engine to Washington? No, Lynn McCurdy lives down in southern part of California that's currently not on fire, but we could wait a day. Christian Bastard said he's seen São Paulo. Yeah, he just invited me to come down there. I'm just like, I don't even go to Idaho. Or Wyoming. I don't think I can go that far. Live stream. Good to have a live stream with CMT. What's it like being blasted with questions from 200 people at once? Patrick Sparks. I miss a lot of them. It's happening because if it wasn't for that, then I'd have been sitting here for 20 minutes going, well, I guess I'll see you guys later. So yeah, it's nice that this is happening, and that we get to have a Andy Chandler. Yes, the cabin is insulated. R19 2x walls with an R32 2x10 A-frame ceiling on it, insulated, electric heat. Yeah, so it's nice and warm in here for sure. Greetings from the Lehigh Valley. Hello, Anthony Adventures. Cleaning and repairing. E. Deptula. I do got one video on doing a Lionel ZW transformer, rebuilding it. And I've also got lots of parts that I've just ordered in to do Lionel 1055 transformers. That's the one with the two back knob, and one sits off like this, and one sits like vroom, vroom, beep, beep. So yeah, I've got some more Lionel transformer repair videos that's scheduled to come up. Will I put loops at both ends of my layout coming from Doubt? Yes. The Ogi, yes. Yeah, because this end didn't work out quite as much as I'd hoped. I wanted to try it, see what it's about. It's more of a layout, and I never switch on it. So yeah, loops for sure. Christian Bachelor, I agree with you. I'm thinking about, there's some guys out there that I've met throughout my adventures that would be amazing to do podcasts. So I thought about filming some of those, but of course they wouldn't be live. And then I've got to figure out how to make this more efficient and more colorful to do lives on. So this seems to have hit really well. So Christian, I'll probably do some more of these in the future for sure. Hit the like button. Oh, I can't do that. Hello, Electric Railway Productions. Thanks, Giuseppe, for stopping in. It's like we're an hour and a half in on this thing. Geez, this is longer than my longest video. Goodness gracious. Good to have a live stream with CM2. What's the, yeah. We'll see. 4 engine in one of my videos. Oh, Lynn must be talking about, the one that I just sent back. And also Lynn's got a Blue Goose that I did a video on. I sent it to him, and then he sent it down. Gentleman, I keep forgetting who it is, that put DCC in it, and now he's got it back. And he's got mechanics all over the country. Was the HO 440 just as terrifying as the N-scale one? Chase, the N-Gage 440's tender trucks, they had walrus vision. You know, when you got the one eye that pokes out like this, and then the other eye, and you don't know which eye to look at. The wheels on the tender were like that because of the way they were engineered. So they created so much friction when it tried to roll the thing down the track, it wouldn't work. The HO version, the trucks, the wheels are on axles and they're straight and square. So it doesn't have the rolling. It's got better rolling. It goes down the track easier. So that's not as hard to work on, aside from the cracked gear, missing drive lines from the locomotive, from the tender into the locomotive. Longer than a honeymoon, yes. Tommy Martin. I've got it set up where you can read all of these things that we've been talking about the whole time when this replays again. So you didn't miss anything. You can just watch it. You visit my house more than my family from Bessie Model. Doubt, thank you very much for your comments on the news interview. It did come out nice, and Russ Reisinger made me look halfway intelligent. Then I go and ruin it by showing you guys the making of video. Oh no, Electric Railway, keep them. No, ew, walrus vision. So this is like this better than those running. Yeah. We get it looks like we got a new member, Anthony J. Welcome to Apprentice Loco Mechanic. So thank you very much for joining the memberships there to move to the other trailer on the property and build a big layout. Patrick Sparks, yes, we're still got that underway. Touched on it earlier in the video. I just got sidelined from a back injury, but everything is still moving forward, and I'm waiting for spring to get here, because even though we're having a gentle winter, it's still cold outside. If you ever need some HO 440 3D gears, I got you from Chase Railway Lines. Josh, it was great to see what goes on in the background. Yeah, a lot of people say that you get to see the not pretty parts of the studio, but I keep it pretty clean in here because I clutter. It'll get really cluttery, and then I got to clean it up, and then it'll get cluttery, and then I got to, so It's a vicious circle. SC Company SW, buddy. Thank you. Hey, how's the streaming going on right now? I haven't seen anybody say anything bad, so I can only assume that it's going well so far. So I thought that the camera was set a little buggy. Yeah, Lynn, I have the same thing happen to me too. One guy, stationary Dingleberry. That's the first time I said it. He signed up for membership and he had that name. I'm like, oh my God, okay. That's a great username for sure. Lynn says it's fine down there, wherever part of the world he's in right now. Good. Oh, I guess you guys got the same feed. Well, I'm good to see that it's working good. In some places, I guess. I'll work on it. I'll continue to see what I got to do. Somebody mentioned I can get an adapter to plug a port on the back of this computer and make it happen. And so, Glenn Narwood, we didn't have, the only train I ran for Christmas was on that video, and it was sitting on this table in here. Have a place big enough to have a tree, decorate for Christmas. So the only trains were what was in the studio for the videos being made. Okay, looks like we're having more icky streaming than good. Interesting. Will I be running trains for the stream? No, because I haven't quite yet figured out how to have cameras mounted all over the place and be able to switch from them. Or, I'd have to do it on my phone and then chase it down with the phone and then flip it around and talk to you again. That, this would probably be less glitchy. Those were trains. What do you recommend getting replacement parts for locomotives? Trains in Crazy 85. Father O-gauge pre-war and post-war trains. My recommendation would be the train tender in upstate New York. You can Google that. I don't have his phone number right off, but he seems to have everything I've ever needed. Thanks for stopping in, William Dyack. 3027's under my tree. Yeah, it's a nice layout going on there, Bunk. Would I ever do a collab with ScotRails? I don't have any problem with doing collabs. I know how to collab. Somebody said that I should do a collab SMT up in Canada, and I reached out, left a message. We got an email. We emailed. We exchanged phone numbers. We talked on the phone, and we're like, yeah, that'd be cool. And then we're like, what would we do? I'm like, I don't know. One have two powered units, and one guy fixes one, and one guy. I mean, how do you fix? I mean, I can see doing a collab with like a painting channel, but you do a collab when you're both a fix-it channel. So I'm not very creative, fortunately. If you guys can come up with some great ideas on an idea for a collaboration. The only collaboration I actually thought of doing was recreating the Budweiser commercial from the year 2000, the "What's Up" video. I wanted to recreate that shot for shot, but instead of a bunch of standing around drinking Bud Light watching the game, it'd be a bunch of train repair mechanics sitting around straight, working on locomotives and running locomotives, and then going, "What's up?" So on it. Thanks, Jersey Bill, for popping in. Stationary. Yeah, one guy could fix the YouTube feed. John Nipperberg. Trains has parts. Yeah, I guess they would have a lot of parts. It'd be tough to do a train layout together. Bunk, I don't know what that last name is. From what I understand, he's in the part of Canada that's up above by the Niagara Falls. I think he's over, we're really far away from each other. H.O. has been watching your channel. Mac B4, yeah, a lot of guys. What's up? Scale train station. Yeah, I've renewed their interest in their trains, and it's great that I've been able to get what I call armchair modeler to get out of the armchair and dig out the old box and get the juices flowing again. That's the most rewarding thing. Some guys I visited with, they were in and they were bedridden for a while, for a long, I'm not talking like a weekend or a week, they were like a couple months and stuff. And they found my channel and they listened to me yap along, and while they were laid up, and it really made them get through their recovery. And that was nice stories to tell. I've just had some of the nicest stories that have come out from people watching. It's just great. Glenn Arwood, yeah, that's a great ad. I'm saving for a 736 Lionel. Oh yes, 76s. Yeah, they're going to be expensive, but they're worth it. Kirk Sunday, thanks for the. Well, it's true. The Tyco collector video. People don't know that the Tyco's coming up in price, and everybody's like, oh, "God, I can't! Oh, the sky is falling, and this the." You know, understands that. Guys my age, I was born in 68. We had those in 75, 76, 77, 80s. That's what we cut our teeth on. We didn't cut our teeth on post-war. We didn't cut it on American flags. That was ours. So now that we're empty nesters, income that we can spend, we're buying it up. We want to have the stuff we didn't have as a kid. That's why Tyco prices are coming up. And the reason Lionel prices are going down is because that's not our generation's toy. There's not very many guys that are playing with post-war. There still is, but not that many. Yeah, picking them up for nothing, sure. Do you have the A-Team Tyco? I've got a couple cars, actually, the locomotive and something else. You could Silver Train, that's a good idea. Send each other the worst locomotive you have and do revivals on them. Sure. Yeah, that's not bad. Not bad at all. Scale Train Station. FTW. Tyco. That's what my... Yeah, I had a paper route 2 days a week after school, and then I'd collect, and then you got done collecting, and then you went to the hobby shop and you blew your money you had at the hobby shop. Never had any money. Done small HL layouts for old people that do it them. My first train was a Marx. Lindo like Marx. So do we have you to blame for the increase? Oh, I would love Mac B4. Yeah, I don't think I got the viewership where I can create influx in markets. That would be nice, but no, I think that's me. Kirk Linsgog, Tyco Silverstreak. That C430, I do want to do a video on how to upgrade with an Athearn chassis underneath of it. There's a specific Athearn chassis. I did some really well. U33C, I think it is. I want to do one of those and then repower a Silverstreak, or some of the neater ones from the 70s. Good night. Duco Loco HO, thanks for popping in. What did you do in the military? Daryl Hovland. I was a 88 Mike truck driver, and I wanted to do that so that I could get my 2 years experience driving truck and then come out into the civilian world and do long haul. This was in the early days. And then I ended up driving a Hemet, hauling howitzer ammunition, 155 rounds, I think it is, to the howitzers. So it's like, this isn't what I have in a truck. Suck it. Good time. Good times. What do the Golden Eagle and Silverstreak not have railings? Why do this? Remembering Civil War history, they did that as a cost-cutting measure. It used to be that when you bought them, and then you'd have to install them after you bought them, and they're kind of hard to put on. And then they just quit putting them in to save money. So none of them ever came from the factory with railings. Any Tyco C430 set of railings will fit, or you can make your own railings. I've got a couple of videos how I did it on some Athearn stuff, but it's the same process no matter what. Hobbytown of Boston kit. No, Hobbytown of Boston for a Tyco C430 drive. I was talking to the guy that's running what's left of Hobbytown of Boston, Nick D. Benedetto, if I said that right. And they do not have drives now, or I don't know if they ever did. I didn't know if they ever did, but he certainly doesn't have them now. What is older? Why is the older Marks track black? And Astronite 118, I don't know. Maybe that was something to prevent rust. It was a higher end pre-war track, and then to cut a cost and not. Maybe they galvanized it and it didn't rust or something. I don't know, but that's why it's black. I would say it's for a rust treatment, an early rust treatment before galvanizing. Just a shot in the dark. Truck targets. Yeah. Uh-oh. I just replaced the C&O set from C&O. Yeah, Howard Carr. Patrick Sparks with football stuff. Yeah. You're really going to need a drink after the show. Like the live, keep. I'm gonna have some beers because my hangover from Sunday went away finally this morning. So it's time. Yeah. Rick Giordano. That's Italian too, isn't it? A lot of Italians, I think that's Italian. On the channel here. A lot of East Coast guys. So, and then I got one, I was giving him a hard time. He's got his Italian last name and he keeps hooking me up with stuff, sending stuff. And then I want to send him some. No, I'm doing this to help support you. And I'm like, no, you got that Italian, and you probably, then you're going to call me up one day and you're going to say, hey, I need a favor. And I'm going to have to do it because I'm into him. Dang it. And we laughed and laughed. Another subscriber, another member here, Kurt Sunday. Welcome to the club. Membership there. Thank you. That was a pre-born thing with Marks. William Santangelo. Ooh, I think I got it right this time. Santangelo. Hard cider guy myself. We're all mutts. I don't know why they sit there. Oh, okay, yeah, no, don't go there. Midwesterner, E. Deptula, yep. Bunk's got himself a brand new Tyco Bicentennial car set. Nice. Now, where'd Chris Daniel get Hobbytown of Boston, Canadianas? Okay, well, if he's got updates in him, then apparently Hobbytown made them at some time. They don't have to know, because I did ask the guy. William says I did it right. 40 older Tyco red box trains from a friend of mine who's wow, they've been stored since the 60s. Tom's Trains and Accessories, you got more there. I got a lot of them older red box rolling stocks, and they were a lot better in the 60s than they were in the 70s, that's for sure. Metal chassis and nicer trucks, and yeah. JWC Tech, I guess I could have printed a picture off and held it up like this, but I'm barely pulling this off technically as it is. It's going to take me a few more attempts before I can put any fancy bells and whistles in like that. I've not had any Williams trains, JC. I just have never had any, so I don't know anything about them. Has a romantic, and that's why. Spirit Center, Steve Kirchhoffer. Yep, Tyco's, yes. Smacking that like button. Right on. Yes, thank you guys. Public. I finally got the operating Tyco hopper with the opening track that opens up the gates on the bottom. It showed up in a lot that I just picked up here last week. So it's like, oh, so that's what this thing looks like. Finally. It makes going in less scary. As of now, I'm doing 3 scales. Mark Montella, doing all 3 scales. Completely, yeah. Absolutely. There's so many of them out there to love. Why only stick with one? Let's sit in a circle and confess. Bernard C. Yes. Yeah, we could all be at a group. I'm a train addict. It's tough to keep under control because they're not that expensive. If we were collecting Corvettes, you'd only have 2, maybe 3, because you can't collect if you only have just one. But yeah, since you can get locals for $10, $20, $50, they populate. Yes. Patrick Sparks, 17,100. Last time I checked, day before, might be 17,135. I'm guessing. Is there any way to fix moldy paint damage? Astronite, I would initially attempt a light bleach solution. water and diluted bleach, spray it on, let it sit, and then that paint, and then you'll strip it in an ultrasonic cleaner and then do a repaint, because I don't think you can get the mold out of the paint, unfortunately. Jacob Aaron, my favorite beer, 2 different kinds. The first one is free. Second one would be an IPA, craft beers or microbrew beers. I did learning how to brew beer, and then I had a bar out in North Dakota called Cousin Ron's Saloon, and I wanted to open up a microbrewery there, but that never got around. But I did. It was a bar and a steakhouse. But yeah, I like craft beers the most. And then when I'm slumming, Old Milk, baby, Old Milwaukee. That and Mother's Milk. I go. Maybe use reference. Oh, thanks. In 037 HON and 020 bunk. Yep. There's a good spray on stripper. I hear that, John, but it's nasty to smell it, and then you got to like do it inside. Thank you very much, Christian Bachelor. Very nice of you. We'll have to do some more of these. Absolutely. The oven cleaner stinks, and doing it with the ultrasonic cleaner, I had it anyway. I bought it doing marine repair for doing carburetors on boats. So it was just laying around. I heard that it works well for stripping paint on these things. Threw a locomotive in, and it just worked. Doesn't stink, doesn't do anything, doesn't make a mess out of stuff. And that's the reason why I use the ultrasonic. I don't have any of my childhood trains on display. They were all sold when we moved out of the Golden, Colorado area back in 2003. And that was the last time I did anything with trains until 2020, 18, something like that. Beer billboards on the side of the box. So MPC era. Yeah, 250 a year for USA. Yeah. Have to download OBS. Yes, JWC Tech. I tried to download StreamYard today, but I downloaded Streamlabs, and then I had to download a different operating system for the Mac because the original Safari won't let you do anything. So now I'm running Opera, and oh my God, what a headache. After I said I'm going to do a live stream, I had to come out here, and it took 2 hours for me to figure out how to get this far. So it's just been a hassle. Rocky Road Scale Train Station. Yeah, I'd like to see a picture of that when it's all said and done. Email to classicmodeltrains@aol.com, or you can find me on Facebook, Classic Model Trains. Have you tried? I've tried brake fluid. I did a video where I used multiple ways of stripping paint, and the brake fluid nowadays isn't the same brake fluid from the 70s and 80s, and it didn't do a thing to it. So yes, I have tried Super Clean or an IP. I don't know what IP. I've heard guys keep saying that, and I'm like, I don't know what IP is. It's propyl alcohol. I like your 250-year idea. Oh man, we'll just plastic oven cleaner. Okay. Scale train station. Yeah, Classic Model Trains. I needed a classic email address, and when I found that I could still get AOL, I'm like, oh, absolutely, I gotta have this. Plus the fact that Classic Model Trains was taken on Google and yeah, some of the other ones, but I could still get it on AOL. What's your best recommendation to clean tubular track? Mark Pella, I have used vinegar on it, and I also use the ultrasonic cleaner. And it seemed like a 1-2 punch like that really worked the best. But then you've got all the oil stripped out of it, and then it could potentially rust again. So I'm still in the air with it. When I'm going to use that old post-war tubular stuff when I build the O-gauge layout. I'm going to clean it all. Maybe I'll use that no-ox ID stuff that guys keep talking about, that paste that you rub on and buff off, or do something, Brasso it, I don't know, something on it to try to protect it from rusting again. Maybe just have a dehumidifier in the place, but I'm not 100% what's the best way to take care of that. So I'm still up in the air. I am not on Instagram. I do not like weathering. Steve Kirchhofer. I like them toy-like. So there's guys that like prototypical. there's guys that like the toy-like, so I fall more into the toy-like category. Everything's shiny and brand new. Fantasyland, I guess it is. Goo Gone on Tube Track works great. Sounds like a good idea, Greg. I'll give that a shot. Yeah, the Oxguard ID, Silver Train. That's what I was talking about. The distinguished gentleman in the portrait is Ron from Parks and Recreation, Swanson. And I put that up there, and then I found out later on that the actor that plays Ron Swanson is, we don't agree on some things. So that's fine. That happens. That's who it is. I loved the character Ron Swanson from Parks and Recreation. But I'm probably going to swap that out because I found a picture of Lincoln, our president, as a boxer with these great big pipes on him and everything like that. And he looks like Rambo. I think I'm going to throw that one in there. Apple Rust. Yeah, I bet you Apple Rust would work good also, Tom's. Bob Ross, thank you very much. I have done a lot of things. I've been around a lot of areas. I got a rounded resume is what I'm told. What's the rarest model that I have? Jacob. I'm going to have to say that Pacific, that Athearn from the 1952 Pacific that was sent in would probably be the rarest. That's a production run. Yeah, and not counting the brass, because there's some brass here, but yeah, I'm going to go with that one. That one's definitely cool. Yeah, Bunk, mine gets dusty too. Electrolysis tank for track. I've never tried electrolysis for cleaning O-gauge rusty track. It probably would work too. Nick Offerman, my other hero. Greg, yeah, Nick Offerman, that's him. Yeah, funny guy. I love that character, Ron Swanson. Except for when it came down to one of his wives. Then he just was a retard. They wrote it really poorly. Abraham Lincoln, Vampire Hunter, yeah. Civil War history, I am doing 1903 and back. Nothing newer than 63 is what I'm wanting to do out. Small town, Midwest, like Nebraska, so that's why there's no hills or mountains. Growing up in Montana, I always see hills. I always see mountains. I always see majestic beauties. As a kid, Colorado, Denver area, the suburbs, and the Rocky Mountains are right there. I've all around mountains, and flatland is interesting to me. So that's why I have, I don't really want to model trestle bridges and tunnels and stuff because it's like, it's just so everybody does that. So, where did you find your RV models? They models came from Walther's catalog. I ordered them in when I was working at the hobby store. You can get them on Amazon also, but they're about $55 a pop for them. They're unbelievably proud of them. Did you run the John Wilkes yet? No, it showed up a couple videos ago, and I got it up on a shelf now. It's out of frame. It's right there. But I have not run it. I eyeballed some cars for it. It would be kind of nice to get some cars, make a complete set. It's absolutely gorgeous. Well, that's weathers them. Otto in Cincinnati. Did I get much of a response from I think so, yeah. That I haven't heard from or talked to in quite a while that called me up on the phone and shared on Google News. And some people said that they seen it just on their news feed, not have nothing to do with the channel at all in different areas. So yeah, that news station, whoever their marketing person is for their stuff, boy, they got it out. It worked like a champ for sure. Track. Again, the Tin Train Station thing. Anthony J Adventures. I have a bunch of track. F unit. Tin Train. Sounds like an 027 stuff. Love it. I'm from the small town in the Finger Lakes, so I shoot for the 50s. Yeah, I like the smaller little towns. Where was my bar in North Dakota? Major Tom. Ypsilanti, North Dakota. Population in town, about 50. Population in the zip code. Yeah, it's a rural farming community. My dad grew up there. It's on the outskirts of Jamestown, North Dakota. So family there. I've got 400 cousins related, second, thirds, things like that, uncles, aunts, huge. So that's why the bar was called Cousin Ron's Saloon, because I was cousins with it. Had a 1900s general store on Main Street. It was kind of run down, and I fixed it up just a little bit and opened up a bar on the main floor and lived up above it. So, yep. A Trang guy on YouTube nickel plated his Trang steel rail. The Trang, yeah, I'm trying to learn to do some nickel plating. We're going to give that a shot. And then teach you guys how to nickel plate also. We're going to start on doing the valving and the rods on steam locomotives initially. The early 90s. You always want to own, be at any scale, is you're partial to. Tom's Trains and Accessories wants to know what train you've always wanted to own, and you're partial to. Do I own it? I guess the articulated ones. When you first got into this, you want a big boy, and this was back in the day before they made 4014 popular, 4015. Oh my goodness, I can't remember the newest one. And so you get one of those, and then you got to get a cab forward. You got to get the Challenger, and then you got to. So once you get all the articulateds, then you're like, well, I'm complete. I can pretty much just pass away now. I've got them. I think I've got all that I wanted. And then you find out the John Wilkes exists. Let me just show you guys what this thing looks like. And then you go, I didn't even know that they had one of these things. And it's got passenger cars that match. And then it's like, well, that's an absolutely gorgeous motive right there. And then so you just keep finding out stuff that's out there. And then, I guess I've been fortunate to have owned a lot of absolutely interesting locomotives throughout my short return to model railroading, for sure. How is Mark's collection going? Yak Back 4. The Mark's collection's going well. We're going to redo this. What is this one here? 999. This rare one. We're going to redo this one with the passenger set. Mark's collections. And you could collect Marks, and you could get done collecting in like half a year, and you're going to be out $1,000. Honest. You could get every car and every variable and locomotive, except for the ultra rare ones. But you can get a huge collection of Marks, and they beautiful. Oh, it was gorgeous back in the day. The triplex. If it was under another manufacturer, or if it was a Bowser ready to run, I block out the triplex. It's like, so. Trying to read all these things here. $1,000. DD4X. The Centennial Diesel, yeah, that's a beautiful one, Tom. I have to admit on that. The DD40X just in general was super nice. My dream train. Oh, the Santa Fe Blue Goose. Yeah, Lynn Mercury got that. A Yellowstone. That's Bernard. I hear you on that one. Home the Lehigh Valley Railroad. Hello, Matthew. Good night, Bunk. Thanks for popping in. Yeah, Glenn, it is too bad that they made one and then got rid of the dang thing. Strange how they did that. William wants to know, how did I get my dog? One of my best friends, high school, his son had her, and apparently she was making quite the nuisance out of herself and kept jumping the fence and eating the neighbor's chickens. And you can't blame her, because chicken is delicious. But the neighbor that made him, next time a chicken dies, the dog's going to have lead poisoning. So he was looking at a way to get rid of her because she wouldn't stay and she was hard to keep tied up. And he had a post on his Facebook page. I called him up, said, hey, and he said, come and take a look at her. And I did, and we got her. He named her Mia at the TIA, missing in action because she had jumped the fence and then just take off. But I had a nickname or a name of Dumpster picked out for years before the dog ever showed up. So as soon as I got her, I changed her name to Dumpster. So that's how this little female shepherd showed up. She's going to be 2 this spring. Do I say going as Adams? I thought about making an Adams family layout. It'd be amazing to be as big as Vice Grip Garage. And Daryl Hovland, I completely agree. His videos are a little long. It's tough, especially as a mechanic, to watch him swap out shocks and he doesn't edit. It's just like, come on, I know how to do that. I completely agree with you there. Bunk, you have a good evening. The dang jobs show up, so yes. Oh, we just found a culprit just outside the Lehigh Valley. We have a special ask back here. Hey, Ron, I'm getting delay on video capture, getting some frame. Yeah, okay. Thanks for the information, MLW 261. Still around. Gomez could blow up. Remembering Civil War with the spirit of 76, that paint scheme is actually the real livery that the Atlantic Coastline ACL used on one of their locomotives. So then a lot of places copied it. So Tyco used that scheme on their 30 C430, their F7s, the American steamer, 1880 steamer. AHM was an importer for Rivarossi and Mahano, and they both made liveries that look a lot like that. So it was basically they all come from the ACL livery, is what I believe. Let's see here. 2 hours clock, so it's almost 10 o'clock over there on the East Coast, and the California guys are just got done eating dinner and they're sitting down to watch us now. A lot of railroads had special paint. Yeah, Pete. Pete's pretty good trains makes a good point. A lot of them to collect. The American Freedom Train HO, which is a Bachmann, probably with split gears, but it's gorgeous looking. But yeah, there's a lot of great bicentennial liveries out there, and that's why I was trying to do that. Show me your American patriotic collection. What parts do you guys have? And I show them in the videos, just because it's neat, and guys may or may not know about them, and it helps to kind of spread the word on it right there. Do you have a favorite road name to model? Mac B4. I am modeling Union Pacific right now. No specific reason. I didn't pay much attention to trains growing up. I guess I just kind of went with them because of the, they got the restored Big Boy. Their shop is just down the road from me in Cheyenne. It's like a 6-hour drive, 7-hour drive. And by that means like 400 miles away, 500. It doesn't mean that it's 130, but it'll take me 7 hours to get there because it's all open prairie. We can open up the 4 barrels around here and cruise at 80, 85 miles an hour for hours. Yeah, and ate dinner yet, Lynn? Oh my goodness. Mark, thanks for popping in. Well, they're the AFT livery might be good for a fantasy scheme for 1-year-old. Oh, Brooklyn Parrots, that's a great idea. American Freedom Train livery on one of them, sure. And it's a simple enough livery because I'm not an expert pro painter. So yeah, thanks for bringing that up. Do you think we'll see a paint scheme as the 250th American anniversary? Gerald, I don't know that what 250th. Oh, I guess we're getting close to the 250th. Yeah. I'm all like, what the hell? I'm trying to run the math, and yeah, because the 200th was 76, so that'd be coming up here next year. Holy moly! See, I don't pay attention to Gerald's keeping me on the straight and narrow, so I know what the heck's going on around here. Hello, JAS. Ito 2001. Good night. Thanks for popping in. Bernard, I have not yet to work on any Williams. I've not ran into any. I've never had any in my hand, so I just don't have any. Mac before. I've got a Edelbrock on my small block right now, and I'm not very happy with it. And I'm thinking about going to that Edelbrock injection that Vice Grip's always talk about, because I'm tired of the cold starts and the crappy way it performs when it's icky out, and tweaking it all the time. It's just such a hassle. It's like time for technology, one way or another. Toward right on blue called the Patriot Road. Okay, Lynn's. Yeah, I was over there near Deer Lodge once, but it was Montana was on fire, So we weren't able to see much of anything going on out there. MLW 261. Have a static big boy, a Revenge 2 Tyco. You think if you're good at fabricating, you can certainly put a couple of 080 Nuga stuff underneath of it, but how are you going to drive it? You'd be better off just finding a River Aussie, a first generation release. They're not going for that. They're not that expensive. I mean, they kind of are, but they're not as bad as it could be. And fix that one up, or just drop 400 on a newer, like a 3 or 4 or 5 year old one, and go that route. I think that'd be to fabricate your own big boy out of a couple of Chattanoogas. Just my 2 cents worth. Glenn's saying hey to all the Aussies. There's a lot of them. A lot of them watch the channel down there. For me, it's 9 o'clock. Yes. Guys are saying back and forth to each other. Wanted to mention, saw your TV clip episode. Mac guy, well, Chris out there. Chris, thank you very much. Yeah, that TV, it got around. I can see that. How do you feel about Lifelike? I know they got a bad rep, but easy to work on and convert. Early Lifelike from the 70s, the bomb. Oh, they're good stuff. Lifelike, late 70s, 80s, 90s. Lifelike, as you know, became Proto P2K, Proto 2000, Proto 1000. They still suffer from cracked gear problems with no supply of gears for them. So that's unfortunate. And that's my take on Lifelike. If you can get a good one and keep it in a heated, air-conditioned, low humidity shop, maybe the gears won't crack. Maybe. What's your favorite or preferred make of HO? What's my favorite or preferred make of HO? Matthew. I really like Varney stuff. I like these old cast ones like this. You can do stuff with it, and I'm probably not gonna break that step off right there, is what I'm trying to say. By touching it and handling it. You can detail these up and paint them. So Varney, Hobby Towns, Mantua, the metal Mantua 60s, just those I seem to really like the most. Sniper. How do you feel about life? Oh, okay, answer that one. Santa born. Heard of it? I've never been into Oregon. He lived up there for quite some time. She might know. Train Mountain and Chiloquin. That was cool. TV interview. Thank you, Christian. Aussie HOK. I'm trying to read these. It's going so fast. Be a wild year in 20. Yeah, Tom's Trains. I hopefully agree that maybe the railroads do that. Come up with a new paint scheme. As long as they're not crybabying because they're running out of money. Oh, we got to defer maintenance. Oh, boogers. Chris Daniel said he modified some Athearn gears to fix. Okay, that's good. Did you just drill out the axle hole a little bit more? What's a guy have to do? Train Mountain is Disneyland for model train guys. Well, sounds good. Sounds good to me. Old, new, and box. I haven't had any cracked gears yet. Christian, maybe. I've heard that some of them Spectrums guys have never had problems with them at all. Guys will say that every one that they've got's buggered up. So Spectrum sitting right here, I'm going to find out if the gears are cracked. We'll just see. I mean, they'll just do it just sitting. I think it has a lot to do with how they're stored, to tell you the truth. If they're not stored in the attic or a garage where they're exposed to excessive heat, cold. Just my hypothesis. I could be wrong. Chessie Seam Specials getting a cosmetic restoration. Nice to hear. Looking for Mark Steam chest. Plastic 60. What? I thought the diecast 666 had a side smoker. Dale's Rails. I could be wrong, but I thought for sure that they do offer one. Okay, Chris Daniel, thanks for the input. I did buy a little hobby drill, a numbered drill bits, where 1 to 60, there's like a lot of them. Size 1, size 2, size 3, size 4. So now I can drill. Plus I got this sweet new arbor press here. How many guys showed up late and missed the arbor press? Oh God, I think I can. This ought to work. It's the old number 1 from China, but it's going to get the job done for arbor pressing duties. Oh, back. Papa John's just come in. Walter sells the gears with new wheels for $10. That sounds like a good deal to me, Patrick. Thanks for that info. Yeah. Well, I'm glad to see that Walter's still supporting their train lines that have been released in the 90s, 2000s. That's good. Do I have a favorite song that mentions railroading in it? I don't. Not that I can think of. Doing this. Sure. On M Gauge. Hello, Charles Beck. Thanks for popping in. S Gauge. Yes. When I get the new venue, I'd like to get O Gauge and S Gauge kind of running together on one common layout, and then have another layout up above it with the HO going on. Is kind of the dream, the dream layout. Steam chest smoker motor will fit. Sounds good to me. I like Marks because they are very interchangeable for sure. For sure. So it seems like things have been coming in on the phone. Okay, Lynn's sending stuff. Somebody's talking about the HON3 brass. I've got HO and HON3 brass. There's a 3-truck shade. There's a 2-truck. There's one of, what the heck's one of them? A 282. There's a Malay, a 2662. Lots and lots of this stuff. If you guys are interested in picking up some brass, email me, classicmodeltrains@aol.com. Leave your phone number because I'll give you, and then we can talk because I enjoy visiting with guys. And it's so much easier to share pictures and talk about stuff than it is to then the autocorrect kicks in and says wrong stuff, and you sent it and you're like, oh my God, and thank you, technology, you're the best. So Jack Brunson smoke unit upgrade post-war. Are you talking what, O Gauge? If you are, Trains in the Attic offers a smoke upgrade that's like less than $10, and it hemorrhages smoke. I had it in that Lionel that I painted red and gray, the pacemaker. Oh my God, it's the bomb. So train kept a rolling by Aerosmith. Yeah, Jack. Yeah, Trains in the Attic on eBay have upgraded smokers. They work like a dream. What are your opinion? 3D printing in the hobby, remembering that's going to be great, especially when they make better resins, for making gears. You can make lots of scenery, you can make body parts, you can do buildings, but you got to have a really high-end printer with the right, the hot glue that comes out the end in order to do gears with a lot of trial and error. But I think 3D printing is going to bring a new dimension into the hobby for creativity, and it's great. It's awesome. Bob Ross, I completely agree. I need a bigger place than this shed. Roy, thanks for coming in. Good night to you. Troy D, I just got an AOL email from you. I'll reach out to you tomorrow, and then we can talk about it and see what's going on. Do a video on all different smoke unit types. The Christian, that would be a tough one because there's a lot, and they all don't relate to each other. I mean, they all just basically heat the fluid, and then the fluid expands into a gas, and then that's it. Tychos didn't work very well. It's burned this chimney off. American Flyers, I think they worked good in the 40s and the 50s on HO and S a lot. Lionel's didn't work that good until you put this upgrade in them, and then they smoke like a banshee. Yeah. Stationary Dingleberry, you just did that so I'd have to say your name out loud. No, I'm not going to move to Hollywood. I couldn't do that out there. No, sorry. That's what I meant. Hello. Good evening. Hello, 44th. Cosmic. Oh, no, they're jumping. The newer Lionel ones, they are, because the smoker units in them, I don't even know if they're a smoker or if they're an atomizer. And then they've got a fan behind them that blows it out, so it's always doing its thing. And there's a lot of computer X going on, and I don't know much about those, and I don't know if you can get parts for them. Yeah, those when they work great, and when they fail hard. Rest assured. To Rebel, how's it going? Charles Beck, yeah, I agree. The AF smokers, they smoked the hardest out of back in the day. Stink up the house. The Chattanooga by the 40 Cosmic Galaxy, they smoked for maybe a day, and then they didn't smoke anymore. So I've yet to see a Tyco Chattanooga smoke, to be quite honest with you. Revell, an 060 Revell, part to find the noise of the smoke. Oh, okay, I didn't know Revells had smokers in them. So interesting. Yep. Well, golly, geez, I can't believe we've been pushing this for 20 minutes. There's still a lot of guys out there. Troy Daniels, it's like he's going to be taken off. Good, Troy. I'm glad to see that you're with us. Got your, I think another week or so, you're going to get your sergeant stripe for sure. Same with stationary Dingleberry. Ron, tell us how you like DCC Sparks. I don't have nothing against it. It's just that it just lets you down. It's like using, for you guys that are old enough to have used Windows 3.1. Did you ever sit around and like be typing into a database and I was typing in all the song titles for when I was a mobile DJ, and you get done and you do like 15 CDs, and then the locks up, freezes, and then you've lost an hour's worth of typing. How it feels with the DCC stuff. Very, very tricky. Now, I suppose if I had it would probably eliminate the majority of that problem, but none of my DCC stuff does. So it got a learning curve, and it's neat. I can only run one locomotive at a time. I can't pay attention to more than one. These get boring after a while, so I just turn them off. So I just figure, I don't really need it. I'll take video and show. Oh, Tom's Trains. Do you have one that? I guess it doesn't. That's right. Be good. There's sliding going on, and then oh yeah, you Linux. Yeah, I don't know how to use Linux. Christian Bachelor wants to know how I go about choosing the models. Seems like I went through all the ones that I'm familiar with in the 70s and 80s. I just burned through those. And some of the guys on the channel I'm 56, and the median age of guys on the channel are 70 and up. So I have to do the math and figure out these guys were in their 20s or 30s or maybe early 40s. And so you go to movie stars of 1965, female movie stars, and then you look through them and, I know this girl's name, I know that girl's name. Look for it, Google, find the picture that's not too risque. Sometimes they've got their try to keep it family friendly, and pick the picture out and put them in like that. So I just kind of roll around. If I was to pick some gal from the 90s, then nobody knows them, so they don't. So far I found it the best to use mid to late 50s to about 70 female actresses and models, females at that time, and that's how it works. Tom's Trains, I'd love to see one that still works. I've got almost every Chattanooga that Tyco made, and yeah, I'd love to see. I've seen advertisement of them smoking, but yeah, none of mine smoke. Favorite part of DCC's park the engine while running. Yeah, I guess that'd be pretty cool. 34. Yep, Glenn, we got some younger fellas there. That's good. Younger fellers. Yeah, this YouTube gives a lot of information on demographics with the channels. I hit the send button by accident. Oh yeah, Steven. 54 right there. But yep, Sean the 12th man. Greg, I'm glad I'm getting him right. It took a while to get it dialed in. Jim Carlson, 82 here. Golly, I hope to make it to 82 and be healthy. Or 72 would look good too. 42, 32, yeah. 57 for Tim. 70. Dale, thanks for popping in. I talked about you a little bit. So have a good night, Dale. And oh yeah, Tina, Louise. We've already done Farrah Fawcett. I think I did the redhead on Gilligan's Island. If Marianne Gilligan's Island. I don't know who Tina Louise is. Most of the models I recognize. Cassandra Peters. And I didn't even have her. That was the not makeup one. So Lynn must have seen her out of makeup. I have Royal Blue with Working Smoke. All right, there's another one. So I guess some of those Tyco Consolidateds, yeah, they still do. Linda Lovelace, yeah. 60 is the new 50. I know. Ginger, yes, Ginger. That's. I think I did her from Gilligan's Island. Jungle Jane, Linda Vaughn. Well, so you have to go back and look at this. So a couple times, guys have just messaged me like, "Hey, a couple gals," and I look them up and use them. Like the last one I did was it was a female. She was a Latino or whatever. Well, didn't hit really well. Oh, Salma Hayek. And I think that's because she's kind of younger than the majority of us. God, Christian out there seems to be spreading the model railroading bug to the youngsters. A neighborhood where I could, give them some training. Here, take these, go set them up. So I don't have much access to little ones. Tina Louise is Ginger from Gilligan. Okay. 44th Cosmic Galaxy, thanks for popping in. Rosie Perez. So Selma's like 50. Yeah. The guys didn't know who she was, though, Christian. It was just odd. Bobbit. Looking for the strongest pulling HO 6-axle diesel. Well, I'm going to have to say an Athearn Blue Box SD40 with the wheels that aren't nickel plated. I'm having a brain fart on the words. The old ones from the 70s. Because I did a pull off of that and a DD40X with two motors, and the SD45 pulled that thing around because it had nickel SDX. Sintered, there it is. Thank you, Major Tom. SD40 or SD45. It was the EMD demonstrator that I had. 2.5. It pulled and pulled and pulled. We're wanting to get the kids in. Yep. River Rossi Yale pull, yeah. Stationary DB, taught you later. So I think we got 2.5 hours in right now. I think it's probably a time to shut her down too, so we can get other stuff done. We don't want to run out of stuff to talk about all at one time. This went really well. I like input from the guys out there. Things to do. I think sounds like the things I've got slated to come up, everybody says it's kind of a good idea. Well, I'm going to keep racking my brain and coming up with neat things to talk about and share with the model railroading community out there that we've built around this channel. So everybody's kind of saying, giving everybody a little chance to provide everybody, but I suppose it's time to kind of wind her down here a little bit. My coffee went cold. So yeah, needs another 2 fingers put in it. Christian Bastard, thank you very much. When's the next live stream? I guess if you guys all seem to really appreciate it, we can once a month or something like that. This went really, really well. I can't believe we've been doing this for 2.5 hours. Yeah, cold coffee, Mac. Yeah. Thank you, Patrick. I'll be looking for that in the email. Single malt, yeah. Tape under the layout. No, I've never done any copper tape. I just take old cords and I cut the insulation off the outside, and then I pull the wire out and I'll use that. People throw away extension cords all the time. So Gerald Gold, thank you. Very kind of you. Thank you, Kurt. Oh, dog hit her head. I wish you did more for Lionel engines. Alan, I've got more Lionel coming up, so we'll be working on that. Uncle, good night. Chase's Railways, good night. William, good night. Glenn, good night. I'll work on the laggy problems. So next one's even better. Please have food next time. All right. Bean dip. Too funny. So I don't know if when I leave, if the chat still goes on or not, but thank you guys very much. We're going to turn this into a video, and it'll be available to rewatch, I believe, in the channel. So easy. Good night, y'all. Good night, Lynn. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. Good night from Jeff out in Michigan. Good night, John, Kurt, Dingleberry. Oh, Stephanie Powers from Heart to Heart. Yeah. Is that that looks like my subscriber number 1 right there, I think. Good night. You've been quiet sitting on the side this whole time, weren't you? Yes. Everybody, thanks so much. Bye-bye.